The Mont Blanc pen felt heavy in Ryan Carter's hand as he signed the termination letter. At 36 years old, he sat in the most powerful position at Mercy Heights Medical Center, Chief Executive Officer, youngest in the hospital's history, and about to make a decision that would haunt him for the next decade. "Send in Dr. Victoria Hayes," he said into the intercom, his voice cold and authoritative. The door opened and she walked in. Victoria Hayes, 29, brilliant and breathtakingly beautiful, with her chestnut brown hair cascading over her white coat, piercing emerald green eyes, and a face that radiated both intelligence and compassion. She was the hospital's most promising cardiothoracic surgeon, beloved by patients and staff alike. "Mr. Carter," she said, her voice carrying a chill that matched his own. "I assume this is about the restructuring." "Sit down, Dr. Hayes. I prefer to stand when I'm being executed." Ryan felt something twist in his chest. Guilt, attraction, anger, he couldn't tell anymore. "The board has approved significant budget cuts. Several positions are being eliminated. Yours is one of them." Victoria's emerald eyes widened, then narrowed. "My position? I have the highest success rate in the cardiac department. I've published 3 groundbreaking papers this year alone." "This isn't about your performance." "Then what is it about, Ryan?" She never called him Mr. Carter anymore. Not since that night 2 months ago at the hospital gala, when everything had changed. "Is this because I said no?" Ryan's jaw clenched. The memory burned, him asking her to dinner, convinced she felt the same attraction he did. Her gentle but firm rejection. "I don't date colleagues," she'd said with an apologetic smile. "It's unprofessional." The rejection had stung his ego worse than any business failure. "This is a business decision," Ryan lied, unable to meet those accusing green eyes. Victoria stepped closer to his desk, her hands gripping the edge. "You're lying. You're firing me because I wounded your precious pride. Because the great Ryan Carter, who gets everything he wants, couldn't get me. Your employment ends in 30 days. Look at me." Victoria's voice cracked. "Damn it, Ryan. At least have the courage to look me in the eye when you destroy my career." Ryan forced himself to meet her gaze. The pain there, the betrayal, made him feel like the monster he was becoming. "I believed in you," Victoria whispered, tears forming in her eyes. "When you became CEO, I thought you'd be different. You talked about putting patients first, but you're just another suit who forgot what medicine actually means." She straightened up, dignity coating her like armor. "One day, Ryan Carter, you're going to need someone who actually cares about saving lives. And I pray to God it's not me, because I don't know if I'm good enough to separate the doctor from the woman you just shattered." She pulled off her hospital ID badge and placed it on his desk. "Congratulations. You've eliminated your best surgeon and your conscience in one meeting." The door closed behind her, with a soft click that sounded like a gunshot in the silent office. The pain started during the quarterly earnings presentation. Ryan Carter, now 46, felt his chest constrict like a vice. His salt and pepper hair, once dark brown, now distinguished with grey, was damp with sudden sweat. The conference room spun around him. "Mr. Carter, sir?" His CFO's voice sounded distant. Ryan collapsed. The last thing he saw, before everything went black, was the shocked faces of his board members. He woke up in his own hospital's ICU, machines beeping around him, monitoring the heart that had apparently decided to betray him. Dr. Mitchell Brooks, chief of cardiology, stood beside his bed with an expression that said the news wasn't good. "How bad?" Ryan croaked. "Massive heart attack," Mitchell said bluntly. "You need bypass surgery immediately. Your LAD is 98% blocked. We call it the Widowmaker. Then schedule it. You're one of the best." "I'm a cardiologist, not a surgeon, and your case is exceptionally complex." Mitchell hesitated. "There's only one surgeon I'd trust with this operation." "Who?" "Dr. Victoria Hayes." The name punched through Ryan's chest worse than the heart attack had. 10 years since he'd seen those emerald eyes, that beautiful face, the brilliant mind he'd destroyed out of petty revenge. "No," Ryan said immediately. "Get someone else." "There is no one else," Mitchell said firmly. "After you fired her, she went to Johns Hopkins. became one of the leading cardiothoracic surgeons in the world. She's pioneered techniques for exactly your type of blockage. Her success rate is 99%. She hates me, Mitchell. I ruined her career. She's now chief of cardiac surgery at Columbia, Presbyterian in New York, published over 40 papers. If anything, firing her pushed her to greatness. Mitchell leaned closer. But she's the best, Ryan, and right now you need the best. Did you call her? Yes, she said she'd think about it. Ryan stared at the ceiling. She has every right to let me die. Victoria Hayes received Mitchell's call while in her Columbia office. At 39, she was at the peak of her career, respected, successful, and scarred in ways that had nothing to do with the scalpel. Ryan Carter needs bypass surgery, Mitchell had said. You're the only one I trust. Victoria had sat in her office for an hour, staring at the New York skyline and remembering the day her world had collapsed. She'd rebuilt herself, gone to Hopkins, proven every doubter wrong, become the surgeon Ryan had prevented her from being. She'd turned pain into fuel, but stronger didn't mean healed. Her phone rang, Mitchell wanting her answer. I'll do it, Victoria heard herself say. Tell Mr. Carter I'll be there tomorrow morning. And Mitchell, tell him I'm doing this because I'm a doctor, not because I forgive him. Victoria arrived at Mercy Heights Medical Center at 6 a.m. The hospital looked different, bigger, shinier, more corporate. She went straight to the ICU. Ryan was awake, staring at the ceiling, looking older and somehow vulnerable. His salt and pepper hair was disheveled. His steel-gray eyes had lost their arrogant gleam, and the lines around his face spoke of stress and regret. When he saw her in the doorway, he flinched. Dr. Hayes, he said, his voice rough. Mr. Carter. Victoria stepped into the room, her emerald eyes unreadable. We need to discuss your surgery. Why did you come? The question burst out of him. After what I did. Because I'm a doctor, Victoria cut him off, her voice professional and cold. And you're a patient who needs surgery. That's all this is. I don't deserve your help. No, you don't. Victoria pulled up a chair but kept her distance. You destroyed my career out of petty revenge because I wouldn't date you. You abused your power and forced me to start over from scratch. So no, Ryan, you absolutely don't deserve my help. Ryan's eyes glistened. Then why? Because unlike you, I didn't let bitterness destroy who I am. Victoria's voice shook slightly. You have a critical blockage. Without surgery, you'll be dead within 72 hours. With surgery, you have an 88% chance of survival. I've performed this exact procedure 96 times. I've lost one patient. What do you need from me? Victoria leaned forward. I need to know you can trust me. Because if you're going to lie on that operating table wondering if I'll let you die, then I can't do this surgery. I need complete trust or find another surgeon. Ryan looked at her, really looked at her. She was even more beautiful than he remembered, but it was a beauty forged in fire, tempered by pain he'd caused. I trust you with my life, he said quietly. Completely. Victoria studied his face, searching for deception, finding only raw honesty. Then I'll save your life, Ryan Carter. Not for you, for the oath I took. She stood to leave, but Ryan's voice stopped her. Victoria, I'm sorry. I know it doesn't change anything, but I need you to know. What I did to you was the worst thing I've ever done. You were right about me. I forgot what medicine meant. Victoria's hand trembled on the door handle. You're right. It doesn't change anything. She looked back. But I stopped hating you years ago. Hate takes too much energy. And I needed all my energy to become the surgeon you said I couldn't be. The surgery was scheduled for 1 p.m. At midnight, Victoria found herself unable to sleep. She wandered the hospital corridors, her mind racing. She found herself outside Ryan's room. Through the window, she could see him awake. Against every instinct, she pushed open the door. Ryan turned, surprised. Dr. Hayes, is something wrong? Can't sleep, Victoria admitted. Pre-surgery anxiety. You're anxious. You've done this surgery almost 100 times. Not on someone who... Victoria trailed off. Not on someone who once meant something to me. Ryan's breath caught. I meant something to you. 10 years ago, before you fired me, I had feelings for you. Ryan. That's why I said no to dinner. Because I liked you too much. and I didn't want to compromise either of our positions. She laughed bitterly. I said no to protect us both, and you destroyed me anyway. God, Victoria, I didn't know. Would it have mattered? Ryan was quiet. Honestly, probably not. I was too angry, too proud. I was a terrible person back then, and now I'm a terrible person who's had 10 years to regret it. Ryan struggled to sit up. Seeing you walk in here, brilliant, successful, everything I tried to prevent you from becoming, it made me realize I didn't just destroy your career. I destroyed any chance of becoming the man you believed I could be. Victoria felt tears forming. Why are you telling me this now? Because if I die tomorrow, I need you to know that you were right about everything. And if I live, I want to spend whatever time I have left trying to become the man you once thought I was. I can't give you absolution, Ryan. I'm not asking for it. I'm just asking you to know the truth. Victoria moved closer to his bed. They were inches apart now. The truth is, Victoria whispered, I've played this moment in my head 1,000 times. You helpless, me powerful, the perfect revenge. But all I feel is sad for who we could have been. Ryan reached out hesitantly, and Victoria let him take her hand. If I survive tomorrow, he said quietly, could we start over?
Not forget the past.
But maybe build something new from the ruins. Victoria looked at their joined hands. Ask me again after surgery, when we're both sure you have a future to offer. The operating room was freezing. Victoria stood at the scrub sink, methodically washing her hands, while her surgical team prepped Ryan. Through the window, she could see him on the table, unconscious, utterly vulnerable. Dr. Sarah Chen, her surgical fellow, approached. Dr. Hayes, are you ready? Sarah, I need to tell you something about this patient. Victoria met her eyes. 10 years ago, he was the CEO of this hospital. He fired me unjustly, destroyed my career here. She paused. And today, I'm going to save his life with every skill I've learned since then. Because that's what doctors do. We don't get to choose who deserves our help. We just help. Sarah nodded. That's why you're the best surgeon I've ever worked with. Victoria smiled. Let's go save a life. 7 hours later, Victoria emerged from the operating room, exhausted but triumphant. She found Mitchell Brooks in the hallway. He's alive, she said simply. Surgery was successful. 3 bypasses. He should make a full recovery. Victoria found Ryan in recovery, groggy but awake. When he saw her, he smiled, a real, genuine smile she'd never seen before. You saved my life, he said. I rebuilt your heart, Victoria corrected, sitting beside his bed. Try not to break this one. Ryan laughed, then winced. Too soon for jokes. Victoria took his hand. How do you feel? Like I've been given a second chance at life, at being decent, at maybe earning your forgiveness someday. Ryan, I forgave you before I ever walked into that operating room. I had to. I couldn't operate with hatred in my heart. Victoria squeezed his hand. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. I know, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make amends. Victoria smiled. You asked me before surgery if we could start over. I think I'd like that. Not a relationship, not yet, but maybe friendship? A chance to get to know each other as the people we are now. I'd like that more than you know. Ryan Carter stood at the podium of Mercy Heights Medical Center's auditorium, addressing every staff member. When I became CEO 10 years ago, I made decisions based on profit margins. I forgot that hospitals exist to heal people, not maximize profits. He paused. I fired good doctors and cut essential programs. Today that ends. The crowd murmured. I'm announcing the Victoria Hayes Medical Excellence Initiative, a fully funded program to support young doctors in pursuing specialized training. No talented physician will ever be held back by budget constraints or personal bias. Applause erupted. In the front row, Victoria watched with tears in her eyes. After the presentation, Ryan found her in the hospital garden. That was quite a speech, Victoria said. It was 10 years overdue. Ryan sat beside her. The board fought me, but when I threatened to resign and go public, they agreed. You'd really have resigned? In a heartbeat, he smiled. This new one you gave me understands what's important. Victoria, I need to ask you something. Ryan turned to face her. These past 6 months working with you, seeing the incredible person you've become. I'm falling in love with you, again, or maybe still. Victoria's breath caught. I know I don't deserve you, Ryan continued, but if there's any chance, any possibility that someday you might feel the same, I need to know. Victoria reached out, touching his face gently. Ryan Carter, you destroyed my career, broke my heart, and forced me to rebuild my entire life. You were arrogant, cruel, and everything wrong with healthcare. Ryan's face fell. But, Victoria continued, you're also the man who admitted his mistakes, who changed completely, who's spending his second chance making amends. You're broken and healing just like I was 10 years ago. She smiled. So yes, there's hope. There's definitely hope. Their kiss was gentle, tentative, full of painful history and uncertain future. When they pulled apart, both were smiling through tears. Thank you, Ryan whispered, for saving my life, for giving me another chance. Thank you, Victoria replied, for reminding me that people can change, that redemption is real, that the heart I rebuilt wasn't just yours, it was mine too. And in the garden of Mercy Heights Medical Center, two broken people found healing in each other's arms. Their painful past transformed into a hopeful future. This story reminds us that ego and revenge destroy not just others, but ourselves. When we abuse power to hurt those who reject us, we lose our humanity, but it also teaches us that redemption is real. When we genuinely acknowledge our wrongs and work to become better, the people we wound can become our greatest healers if we're humble enough to accept their grace. Sometimes the heart that needs the most repair isn't the one in our chest, it's the one we shattered in someone else. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it can build a better future. Choose compassion over pride, healing over hatred, and growth over grudges.